Hello viewers and welcome to this edition of Asian Vibes. My guest today is Sharla Brown, who needs no introduction, especially to the viewers of Shaw TV Channel 10. Sharla hosts the show In Your Neighborhood, but besides the hosting of the show, she's also involved with several charitable causes, and some of these causes have taken her beyond Thunder Bay. Today Sharla is here with us to talk about one of such travel trips that she has done across continents, and we're going to hear more about the projects that she's involved with. And welcome to our show, Sharla.
Thanks, Rupa, for having me on the show.
And if I may compliment on your dress, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I love Asia. I love India. So I had to break out my beautiful Punjabi top.
Oh, this is beautiful. All the glitter and the color, vibrant.
And my bangle bracelets, you betcha.
Thank you. So Sharla, what took you to Asia? And which part of Asia?
Yeah, so I've been to China, I've been to Thailand, and recently this past year I went to India. So I love to travel. I've been to probably over 30 countries now around the world. So that's what I love to do in my spare time when I'm not doing work here in Thunder Bay. But Asia is definitely a very special place for sure.
So this summer it was India.
Yeah, so this May I went to India. I was invited to speak at a women's economic forum that brought together over 1,200 women from 109 countries around the world. And I was invited to speak on social enterprise. So I started an organization this past year called One Woman. And what it does is it brings women in business together around the world. So it helps to create opportunities for women to be able to network and to work together, but towards the greater good of everyone in this world, especially other women in developing countries that might not necessarily have the resources to, say, either start a business or to help young girls be able to go to school. So with the social enterprise, the profits and the proceeds of that organization goes to fund different projects that would help women start businesses or help girls have the opportunity to further their education or just to even have access to education.
Perfect. And where was this forum?
It was in New Delhi. So I flew into New Delhi in May. I first went to Udaipur, which I took a flight the next morning and did some work with Free the Children. So I was introduced to that organization a few years ago. I've done work with them in Ecuador and in Kenya. And I had the opportunity then to speak in India. So that's where they also have projects that go on. So the first week I worked with women in the community to help them start goat businesses, which in rural villages, that is a business that a woman would be able to do, because most women wouldn't be able to work outside of the home. It's just not culturally acceptable, but they are allowed to have a little goat business. So what that goat does is it provides nutrition for the family through the milk that goat can produce, but it also produces an offspring. So they sell that offspring every year. It creates about $100, $150 of extra income to that family, which that's a lot of money in rural India, as I'm sure you know. And the condition is Free the Children asks that then their children also go to school. So with that extra income, then the children aren't necessarily having to work or having to help around the house as much. They could then go to school and have access to education as well. So it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it was a fun week to be able to spend a week in the life of a woman in rural India. So I got to do some really awesome activities. I learned how to make a mean roti. So learned how to roll it out, bake it, and I mean traditionally, like there was no regular stove. This is a little fire that's built in the house, and you're putting it in a hot pan. And so we made a roti from that. So the lady's name was Moni Bai, and I know we have some pictures we're going to put up that I spent the day in the life with Moni Bai.
So roti is for our viewers. It's a bread.
Yeah,
it's
like a naan.
Bread. Yeah, naan bread.
Yeah. So we made a roti together. So she tested my cooking skills, which I passed that. So from there, I got to.
It was a perfect round.
It was fairly round. It was passable. I did okay. So from there, then we went out and we fed the goats. So she's kind of like the ambassador in the community in terms of starting that goat program, and she really helps with mentoring the other women in the community in terms of they get to go and pick out their goat and really have a as much as Free the Children pays for these, they really have a part in the process of choosing their goats and having that ownership, which is really important in terms of the self-esteem for those women. So it was really neat to be able to go out and feed goats together and check out how the goat program is going. And then also I got to fetch water, which is a hard job. But what people
Something
don't realize...
we take it for granted.
Yes, and that in most of the world, that's what a woman's job is fetching water. And it could be walking miles and miles to go and do this every day. And that's what I did, was we walked down to the water, had to wheel it up in this well and carry it on our heads. And these women can carry like massive amounts of things and stacked up, and they can balance it. No hands. I could not take my hands down. That clay pot would have been on the ground. So, I had so much respect for the life of a woman in India, and especially rural India, in terms of just how tough life could be every day, and how she does it with such grace and with a smile. And so it was wonderful to be able to share in that, and just share with the women. I got to sit in a women's circle and just kind of learn from the women a lot about some of their cultural activities, things that they love, share in music, share in dance, share in culture, and also the things that's important to them as a woman, which I've learned isn't very different from us women here in Canada or in North America. We all want the same things: to have a better life for ourselves, for our family, and our communities, our neighbors, the people that are around us, which was an absolutely beautiful experience for sure.
So it was your perspective was from a developed country, or did you have to understand the perspectives that the developing countries were coming from when you were making a presentation at the Economic Forum?
Yeah, well, it was a very
stark difference.
Yeah, it was a diverse group of women. Some women are coming from that kind of background, or that a big part of their country, that's what it's about. So they know those realities. Whereas there's also a lot of women that's there that can't even fathom the idea of that would be their life, or to be able to put themselves in those shoes. So that's kind of the opportunities that I want to create, is to be able to put together some women's empowerment trips, to be able to travel to a lot of these countries and to give women that same kind of experience that I had. Because you look at life a whole lot differently, and it puts life in perspective pretty quickly as to the things that we maybe
just used to
take for granted, that we complain about, that we have, that it's like you don't look at it the same
value
anymore.
it so much as
I come home and the first thing I do is I always grab it's always the first glass of water out of the tap that always hits me, that most of the world doesn't have that luxury. So it's just a powerful moment for me when I come home and I realize, like, I just walked miles with a woman that's that water,
glass of water,
and she does that walk numerous times a day, no matter what the weather, no matter what the conditions. It's very humbling for sure.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Yeah, lots of insights out there. But Sharla, we'll hold on to those thoughts. We'll come back. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back with more travel tales and more information on the projects.